This is the fourth part of lecture 3, and in this part we'll learn about the advantages of continuous sterilization over batch sterilization. So continuous sterilization have several advantages over batch sterilization. These are those: better protection of medium value, ease of scale up, easier automatic control, the decrease of flowability for steam, the reduction of sterilization cycle time, and under certain conditions the decrease in corrosion of fermenter. Now we'll try to learn in more details about these advantages. So first, better protection of medium value. Okay, in case of batch sterilization, energy waste is high, and sometimes the media can be overcooked. Okay, so if the media get overcooked, it will decrease the quality of the media. Okay, and also in batch sterilization, both the heat and the cooling water are spent with no opportunity for energy recovery, and temperature in batch sterilization cannot be increased beyond 121 degrees Celsius. That is, the 121 degrees Celsius is the highest temperature that we can use in batch sterilization. And if the temperature is increased, the heating and cooling period will also increase. Hence, during the sterilization, the nutrient media will be exposed towards the heat for longer time. Thus, the quality of the nutrient media will be degraded. But in contrast, in continuous sterilization, the medium to be sterilized is dealt with shorter heating and cooling period, and as much higher temperature can be utilized, the holding time is reduced. Therefore, in continuous sterilization, nutrient degradation is subsequently less as compared to batch sterilization. If we compare the heat graph of batch sterilization and continuous sterilization, we can easily understand that. This is the graph of the batch sterilization. So if we consider the heating time, holding time, and the cooling time, the media have to be the media are exposed to heat for a longer period of time. But in case of continuous sterilization, the exposure time are very short. So thus, less thermal degradation of media occur in continuous sterilization. Okay. Anyway, in case of continuous sterilization, most of the sterilization is done during the holding period. Okay, and continuous sterilization has high steam utilization capacity as compared to batch sterilization. So in case of continuous sterilization, the heat can be fully utilized during sterilizing process, and therefore great amount of water and steam can be saved, as well as energy consumption is decreased substantially. Okay, and uh, if we look at the number, in case of continuous sterilization process, averagely 30% of steam is saved and 40% of cooling water is saved throughout the sterilization process. That means continuous sterilization process is much energy efficient than batch sterilization process. Okay. Then another advantage of continuous heat sterilization: easy scaling up of the process. So on scaling up the fermentation, it is very difficult to attain the correct sterilization conditions using the batch regime. That is, batch sterilization is more complex and difficult to scale up. But in case of continuous sterilization, especially when we use the direct method, that is when we directly inject the steam into the media, it allows the design of a precise process, producing a sterile medium and with the required degree of interactions with the ingredients, and these methods are easy to scale up. Okay, because actually in this case we directly inject the steam into the media, so we just can calculate, I mean, how much steam we need to, I mean, it's very easy to calculate that how much steam we have to inject into the media, okay, to do the sterilization. Now, then another advantage, easier to automate the process. So the continuous sterilizer is easy to automate the whole process, hence improves the quality of sterilization and reduce labor intensive. So as if, I mean, if we can make the process automatic, definitely it will reduce I mean, less labor will be required, okay. So thus reduces manpower, machinery replacement and maintenance, okay. Then another advantage, reduction of sterilization cycle time. So short period of exposure minimize sterilization cycle, because in case of batch sterilization the exposure time is longer, that means sterilization cycle will be longer, but in case of continuous sterilization the exposure time is very short. So hence the sterilization cycle is also short. Although the continuous sterilization has several advantages over batch sterilization, yet batch sterilization also have some advantages over continuous sterilization. So what are those? In case of batch sterilization, laser, assets, apparatus and expenditure. That means the establishment cost of batch sterilization is actually less, because in case of continuous sterilization, uh, many different kind of apparatus will be needed, right? So it will add into the total cost, okay. Then less chance of contamination. The batch sterilization process is kind of it's a sealed process, right? It's a closed process, so chances of contamination is low here. But in case of continuous fermentation, extra machineries are used there, extra apparatus are used there, lots of tubings are involved there. So I mean, breeze in any tubing anywhere in the machineries will increase the chance of contamination, okay. So that means if we think about the chance of contamination, batch sterilization has lower chance of getting contamination than continuous sterilization. And batch sterilizer, they are easy to control manually and also easier to use with media having a high amount of solid material. If the media contains high amount of solid particles or materials, during the continuous process they can settle down within the machineries and they can create clog and thus can stop the sterilization process. But in case of batch sterilization, the chances of those kind of clogging done by solid material of the media is very low. Actually, it's almost kind of negligible. So that's why if we want to sterile media which contains high amount of solid material, batch sterilization will be a better choice, okay. Anyway, that was all about lecture 3. Thank you for your patience.